5,000 gallons to the acre right now.
I'm just spooling her out.
This is what it kind of looks like on into the field. Kudos to you, pigs. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is the day. Harvest is in the books, so you know what that means. It's time to start pumping manure. And today is going to be a full day of pumping manure. We're going to be pumping manure out of two sites, our Site 2 barn and our double site, Site 1. Our Site 2 barn here, we always have somebody that grabs manure out of this barn to go put on their field and not our own field, because we have more manure than we do acres to cover it all. So we have to give some of it away. And pretty much how that works is they just pay for the hauling of the manure and we just give it to them. Today we're gonna have 4 trucks, semi-trucks that can hold about 7,800 gallons of manure, hauling south to a field south of us about 3 to 5 minutes away. So they're gonna be rolling all day long. Probably not going to shoot a ton of action around here because we're going to be focusing most of our energy up at Site 1. And we've grabbed all the manure samples for all the barns a couple months ago, and we know every single barn what the nutrient value is and how much nitrogen and how many gallons we got to put on our fields. I think we're going to be putting around 5,500 gallons to 6,000 gallons into the acre. These boys should be showing up pretty soon to get started here at Site 2. I might just throw a GoPro on the bin and time lapse it, so you guys can get a little bit of an idea how they do things. So now we're up here at Site 1, and this is where we're gonna be pumping out manure for our own use. We already got the drag line here all rolled out, and we're gearing up to get started. David's got the 4440 up here with a pump in the pit. The purpose of this baby is to just stir up the manure that's in the pit, because you want to get all that nutrients and all that valuable manure stirred up so that when you're pumping it out, you get all the nutrient value out of it. We got a couple pumps with different tractors on them spread out across this south barn up here, just stirring up the manure best it can. Now this machine here, I am not an expert on, but all this does is it controls the amount of manure, how fast you're pumping the manure out, how quick you are, how much you're pumping at a time, and it takes it from that hose, runs it into here, comes into that, and then it goes into this drag line. It just controls the flow of how much manure you're pumping and how fast you're pumping it. I'm no expert on manure equipment. Over here, we got the 4020 with another fuel pump, and it's doing the same thing. It's doing the same thing that the other pump was doing. It's just stirring up all the solids and getting everything stirred up so we can get the right amount of nutrients from our manure when we spread it. This drag line here is running all the way over to the field across the road, and that is where we're going to be starting. The worst thing that could happen is you get everything ready and this drag line's got a kink in it. That's what you don't want to happen, but I think we're all set in stone and ready to go. The cool thing about what we do is it's a pretty green cycle. So all this feed that you see right here, it's produced by a lot of farmers just like us. It's made of soybean meal and corn meal, and the pigs eat that. So you take the corn crop and the soybean crop that you create from the fields, then you grind it up, feed it to the pigs eat it, and then they end up pooping and it goes in the slats. We take that manure that the pigs produce from the feed that we give them, and we take that manure and put it back on our crop ground to produce another crop for the pigs to eat. So it's just a cycle that just goes round and around, which is pretty cool. Kudos to you, pigs. You are the best. Keep on eating and keep on pooping.
just trying to move this hose a little further, a little closer to David. I'm just spooling her out. I'm living proof that trial and error will get you a long ways, because I've never done this before, but that's never stopped me, so why start now? The ground's so dry that the manure is covering really, really good. For all you pansy asses out there that are worried about the manure running off, you don't have to. You can sleep easy tonight knowing that our manure is right where it needs to be.
The most important thing when it comes to pumping out manure out of a barn is ventilation. When you're pumping manure out of a barn, when you're stirring up that pit, there's methane in that pit. And if you don't have the barn ventilated good enough, you could end up suffocating or gassing, people like to say, pigs, and they could end up passing away. So it's really, really important that you have the right amount of air flowing through the barn so that doesn't happen. Your curtains, your inlets, pit fans, or your wall fans. We're in the south room, southeast room, that's where we're pumping right now, and all the curtains are open. So natural curtains open, tunnel curtains open, and the ceiling inlets are all the way open, along with all the pit fans. So there's plenty of air flowing through there right now, and we shouldn't have any issues today when we're pumping it. Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of pumping manure here at This'll Do Farm. Our Site 1 and our Site 2 barns are all empty when it comes to the manure. We got one more barn to go, my site, and they're gearing up and getting ready to start pumping here. We're just gonna get her going. What I'm gonna do here at my barn is I'm gonna go to my power, and I'm going to open up all of my pit fans. I'm gonna manually turn those on to 100%. That is going to really push all the air out of the pit, which is going to be getting stirred up. So having those pit fans on 100% is really, really important. And then I'm also going to open up the little fan, the 36-inch wall fan, to get some air going there on the wall. And then I'm going to open my inlets up all the way as well. So I'm going to turn these into manual open so that they're 100% open the whole time, so that we're getting constantly enough air flowing through there, but not too much air to where the pigs are gonna be freezing. Our inlets are 100% open. Our curtain is rolling up down there. 36-inch fan here is also running full bore. This pit fan's running, and then there are 2 pit fans that won't be running, obviously, because they're gonna have the pumps in them that are gonna be stirring up the manure. Stirring it up, getting all the solids broken up, getting it nice and liquidy. So there's the end of the drag line, and that will hook on here. This will hook on here. The manure will shoot out, go through the drag line, and then that'll be hooked up to David's toolbar, and they'll start injecting it into the ground. Our mid-afternoon report, 74 degrees in the south room, 71 degrees in the north room. Pigs look good. They're alive, they're well. It seems to be enough ventilation, having no problems, and we're also not chilling the pigs. That's a win in our book. That's the best case scenario.
We're out here in the field. This is straight east of our double barn site, and this is corn stalks that we're going corn on corn for next year. And I just wanted to show you how the injectors work. Contrary to a lot of misconceptions that we're just out here dumping manure and it just runs everywhere and it's just soaking, you know, we put these huge quantities of manure. It's really nothing like that. You can see right here, the toolbar that he's got, you can see him coming across the field. He's on 30-inch centers, and he's got 2 closing wheels that are running ahead of the knife, and it's tilling the dirt just a little bit, and then the knife is running into the ground. I'm not sure how far. I want to say it's about 4 inches, 5 inches, something like that. And then we're putting that manure in that trench and throwing the dirt up on top of it so it stays where we want it. This is the most valuable commodity that I get out of raising pigs for an integrator, because I don't get the money out of the pigs. I get paid to take care of them, but the manure that I get is pretty valuable to me as a grain farmer, and I want to make sure that I'm getting every acre I can out of the buildings that I have.
I'm really happy with my manure quality, just because the wet dry feeders are definitely making a difference. I'm getting around 66 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 gallons of manure, which is awesome. We're putting about 5,000 gallons to the acre right now. Probably not going to put on any extra nitrogen this year because of input costs being really high. With any luck, we'll get this thing done by the end of the night if we don't run out of manure.